Good morning, student. This is our third part from chapter Principle of Inheritance and Variation. Okay. At last lecture, we told there about the Mendel's law, where we discussed about the law of dominance. Means based on the observation of his experiment on garden bee, Mendel drew some important conclusion, and these conclusions known as Mendel's law of inheritance. Like we talk there about first law of dominance. So Mendel's first experiment were with the variety of garden bee that different in only one visible character, and these are known as monohybrid experiment, where Mendel crossed true breeding tall pea plant with the true breeding dwarf pea plant, and then the first progeny all plants are showing to be tall. Okay. And in offspring, tall plant of flower suppress and recessive plant means dwarf plant. So Mendel therefore called such trait as tall flower dominant and dwarf plant recessive. He observed this fact between all the seven pair of characters selected by the plant. Means there is seven character of contrasting character in plant. That's why Mendel used pea plant for his experiment. Okay. So a pair of contrasting character is called allelomorphic pair or allic pair. Means a term coined by Batson. It is very important. Always remember that this allele pair or allelomorphic word to be coined by Batson. It's Bateson. Batson in 1906, and each member of the pair can be regarded allele of the other. Okay. So the tallness and dwarfness of a flower are allele to each other. So the law of dominance therefore states that out of the pair of allelomorphic character, one is dominant and another is recessive. The hereditary units which are responsible for the appearance of character in the offspring were said to be factor or determiners. Later W. Johnson called them genes. It is also very important. Always remember it, beta. Now we go with the second law of segregation. We already talked it about in our last lecture. So law of segregation is also called law of purity of gametes. When pure breeding where pure breeding tall plant and pure breeding rough plant were crossed, they form tall plant individual only in F1 generation. But after self fertilization of F1 generation, like we got their capital T and small t, means they represent tall plant. Okay. So the individual of F2 generation thus form where tall plant and dwarf plant in ratio 3:1 in F2 generation. This ratio is known as hybrid monohybrid ratio, and the two contrasting character have thus segregated or separated in F2 generation. When F3 generation was raised by selfing F2 plant, all recessive F2 plant produce only recessive. Okay, they were pure or true breeding. So this is law of segregation. Means law of segregation, we state that when a pair of allelomorph are brought together in the hybrid F1, they remain together in the hybrid without blending, but separate complete and pure during gamete formation. This law is known as Mendel's second law or law of purity of gamete. It is sometimes said to be law of splitting of hybrid also. Okay. Now we go with the Mendel's third law. But before this third law, we have to be know about some facts of law of segregation. Means if we talk about the limitation of the law of segregation, which is second law of Mendel, so the law of segregation apply only to diploid organisms that form haploid gamete to produce sexually. It further apply only to trait control exclusively by a single gene pair in which of the two alleles one is dominant over the other, and the law therefore does not apply to first, like alleles that are incompletely dominant or codominant. Second one limitation is that genes that collaborate or vary in their expressive and penetrance. Third one is genes that are pleiotropic. Pleiotropic means each gene having two or more phenotypic effect. That one is pleiotropic. It is also important. Complementary or influenced by the epistasis. Epistasis means suppression of one gene effect by another. Okay, and fourth one is trait caused by many genes pair. So this is all about law of segregation, which is second law of Mendel. Now we go with the law of independent assortment, which is very important. And now you see this on your screen, like law of independent assortment. Mendel investigate not only those cross in which the parent differ in single pair of character, but also other in which the parent differentiated into two pairs. Such a cross which involves two pair of contrasting character is called dihybrid cross. Okay, for dihybrid experiment, Mendel crossed two parent pea plants, one of which was homozygous for round and yellow seed. It means we take genotypic character. For round it's we get capital R, and for yellow we take capital Y, and the other for wrinkle and green seed we here take small letter for the previous dominant character. Means for wrinkle we take it small r, and for green we take here small y. Okay, now round shape and yellow color of the seed is dominant over the wrinkle shape and green color. During gamete formation, each pair of allele segregate independently of each other and produce only capital R, capital Y, or capital R, small y gametes. All the plant produced in the F1 generation were with round and yellow seeds, means capital R, capital Y, small y, which were heterozygous for both the allele and thus called dihybrid. So, in F2 generation, the F1 hybrid produce four kind of gametes in equal number. As you see in screen, capital R, capital Y, capital R, small r, capital Y, and small r, small y. As there are four kind of pollen grain and four kind of eggshells, there are chances of 16 possible types. So the union of gamete in fertilization is random and was resulting in 9 classes of genotype and 4 classes of phenotype. Okay, the plant with round yellow and wrinkle green seed are parental combination, but round green and wrinkle yellow are new combination called recombinant. Okay, that one is called recombinant. When round green and wrinkle yellow are new combination after the crossing over there with capital Y and small y, small r. Okay, means when we cross dihybrid cross, we get that type of result where some plants are has to be symbol of their parent, but some are different from their parent. That combination is called recombinant. So the ratio of F2 generation is 9:3:3:1 is called dihybrid ratio. Thus each pair of alleles segregate strictly independent of each other, and this demonstrates the law of independent assortment. So Mendel's independent assortment can be defined as that when two pair of independent alleles are brought together in the hybrid F1, they show independent dominant effect in the formation of gamete. The law of segregation operates, but the factor assort themselves independently at random and freely. So it is immaterial whether both dominant character enter the hybrid from the same or two different parent, but segregation and assortment remain the same. Okay, now we discuss some limitation of law of independent assortment. So in law of independent assortment, only to gene pair or different pair of homologous chromosome, one gene pair or one pair of homologous chromosome and the other gene pair of another pair of homologous chromosome. Means Mendel was not aware of chromosome. All the traits he studied were the different pair of homologous chromosome. That is why he could conclude that gene pair segregate independently of one another. Okay. So this is very important law. I hope you all understand this. Now this is homozygous and heterozygous. If you don't know about homozygous and heterozygous, if you not understand it, you doesn't cross very well. Okay. So homozygous and heterozygous means the term homozygous and heterozygous was coined by Batson and Sanders in 1902 for the type of symbolized gene combination. It means when both member of allele pair in a plant are alike, the individual is called homozygous. The true breeding red capital R and true breeding white small r plant are the example of homozygous. If the two member of an allele pair are unlike, the individual is said to be heterozygous. Means the red flower plant are capital small r of the F1 generation are heterozygotes. Okay, as you see, like in BB is a represent black color, capital B black, true breeding black, and small b is true breeding blue color. Okay, in the same capital B small b is true breeding is heterozygous, and capital small b capital B is also heterozygous. Okay, that one is not true breeding. So this is difference between heterozygous and homozygous. Now if we know about genotype and phenotype, so to distinguish between the gene combination of a trait present in individual and the actual expression of the trait, the Danish botanist W.L. Johnson introduced the term genotype and phenotype. Genotype refers to the genetic constitution, while phenotypic to the external appearance. Means the phenotype is the result of expression of genotype. In cross between a red flower plant by a white flower plant, the after generation plant can be classified either according to their genetic composition or according to their appearance. So the capital R offspring constitute the genotype, and the appearance of red color of the flower constitute the phenotype. Okay, so this is the difference between your genotype and phenotypic character. And I think by the law of dominance or by the law of aggregation or independent assortment, you know very well what is difference between monohybrid cross and dihybrid cross. Means monohybrid cross, when two plants are crossed with different constantly in one character, such cross is known as monohybrid cross. And when a cross involves two pair of contrasting characters such as height of the plant and color of the flower or shape of the seed and their color, it is called dihybrid cross. Okay, now this is very important because here we discuss about back cross. Okay, means test cross and back cross. And why we check test cross, why we check back cross, and why we check test cross. So test cross and back cross, when an F1 individual is crossed with one of the two parents from which it was derived, it is known as back cross. Means like this. Okay, and for instance, when F1 is back cross with dominant parent, recessive individual are obtained in the progeny. If a F1 individual is crossed with recessive parent, both phenotype appear in the progeny. Such back cross with reference parent is said to be test cross. It is also called because it is used to test whether individual is homozygous or heterozygous, as you show in your slide. Okay, so in case of homozygous, all individuals are red color, and in case of heterozygous, 50% individuals are red and 50% were white. As you see in your slide, your screen, there is tall plant, example of tall plant. So how you find out that this tall plant have which type of genotype? Means it's capital T or small capital T small t. For this we have to be take test cross, and for this with a homozygous recessive, we cross capital T with their recessive small t, we obtain capital T small t, capital means all are tall plant. Okay, means all are heterozygous tall. And when we cross these two for their recessive, means result capital T small t is the F1 result, we cross it with the recessive plant, we get capital T, capital T, small t, and small t, small t, and small t, small t. So here we get that there is heterozygous recessive plants are over there, and as the same here, when we take capital T small t cross with capital T, we take parent offspring capital T small t capital T small t. So I said earlier that the backcross is cross when F1 parents is crossed with their any one of parent, so there is 100% tall, and when it cross with other, we so it is called means such backcross with this plant means in case of homozygous all individuals are red means tall, and in case of heterozygous 50% individual are tall and 50% are dwarf. Okay, so this is all about test cross and back cross. I hope you all understand it. In next lecture we taught there about the reason for Mendel's success and practical application in Mendel's law, because Mendel's success in earlier section we described that why Mendel is failed in that time to be famous for his experiment. There is lots of reason behind but there is also some reason for Mendel's success, like he chose a pea plant for his breeding experiment was excellent, he kept complete record of every cross and applied statistical method and laws of probability of computing his result. He thus could the pedigree or the progenies. So he took one or two traits at the one time for his experiment. He usually studied many traits simultaneously that caused confusion and made matters complicated. So he was fortunate enough that the character he chose his experiment did not show linkage, incomplete dominance, and gene inheritance sector. So these are the important reasons behind the Mendel's success. I hope you understand this lecture. If you have any doubt, any query, please attend your Google Meet class. We discuss their matter with over there. Okay, thank you.